Sunshine, thinking about workforce planning, knowing who and the team that needs to be assigned projects and anticipated projects. Can you talk a little bit about this challenge that you have, managing your area?
Yeah, so we spoke a little bit about a few things I think that affect workforce planning. I mean, number one, workforce planning is the 30,000 foot view of managing our business, right? So if we're not managing our workflow and our workforce correctly, we're not able to support the people that are working here. We're not making money. Our people are burning out. There's a lot of problems that surrounds workforce planning. So in addition to making sure we're hiring the right people, we're helping them to schedule their time accurately, we're helping them to avoid burnout, we're helping them to meet their deliverables on time, get accurate estimates and find problems. I need to, at my level, and the leaderships need to, at their level, be able to see the right amount of work at the right amount of time for the right amount of people. And if we've got a great amount of business, which we all want to have, we need to be able to see that early in the opportunity so that we can be hiring and training up the right amount of people. We also need to, like I said, make sure that if we have projects that are having scope change because clients are adding additional work, or we've got deliverables that are changing, maybe client needs are changing, which we talked about happens often. We need to make sure that we can see, I need to bring in additional resources to help a client, or if consultants are going out for knee surgery or something like that, that we're able to bring in the right amount of team members to help support those teams. So, I mean, our whole business is around the proper workforce planning. So Movila really helps me and my leadership team be able to see and have good visibility into some of those areas, both as we're bringing in new opportunities, as we're scheduling the projects to the right amount of people, and making sure that the people stay engaged, so that our clients are having a really great experience with the same team that they started with, and helping them take them over the finish line.
Great points. So, Mike, this importance that Sunshine mentioned of having a 30,000 foot view of their business and the staff requirements that they have, how does technology help aid in this area?
So that visibility about what you're looking about, being able to see all of the information once again about what you're doing in your work and your process, so you can accurately manage your workforce. And I think a really good example, or a good, another example is sort of car manufacturing, right? So manufacturing in general, their biggest cost is the supplies to build the car. The biggest cost for a professional services organization is their labor and their personnel. Manufacturing years ago went to a concept of just-in-time, and just-in-time manufacturing meant that they didn't have to keep all this inventory, the carrying costs of all this inventory, just in case they were going to build cars. They wanted the inventory to show up right when the demand was coming in, not have those carrying costs, but also have it available as demand rose. They would have that inventory. And when we think about supporting organizations like HRMS and Sunshine, it is about making sure that they can do just-in-time hiring, that it's effective for them. And this is really, really critical especially for a professional services organization, because if they have excess capacity, that's going to erode their margins, right? So they don't want to have a lot of people sitting around not working, because that's going to erode margins. Conversely, they don't want to be in a situation where they have high demand from the marketplace and they have an inability to deliver those products and services because they didn't have enough advanced notice that they were going to have to hire those people. And especially in this hiring environment where we know the time to hire and the time to productivity is getting longer, because let's face it, we have a big supply problem right now around personal resources. It's just a big challenge. So we look at this to say, how can we help their organization get that best 40,000 foot view? And a big part of that is, once again, not using swags, but saying, what is the actual work? How are we modeling that actual work to see not only the work we have today, but the work we might get? So a big part of this is not just, once again, looking at the work we have today, but hey, what's in our CRM? What opportunities do we have in our CRM? And what do those projects look like? And can we model the capacity resource requirements based on the work that we've done in the past with those same things? So it's not, once again, not just about looking at the work we have today, but the work we might get. Because if Sunshine has 60, 90, 120 days notice based on their average sales cycle, she's going to have a better understanding to say, hey, we got to hire 2 database engineers, a reports expert, and we need another analyst. She also, being accurate about this, allows her to say and go to the organization, hey, in April, we're going to have a shortage for this role, but it's only going to last for 4 weeks. We don't need to hire somebody for that. We can bring a consultant in for that period. And that way, we don't have ongoing unnecessary carrying costs. So it comes back to this idea of accuracy. And I like that metaphor of just in time, which means the organization says, we have the right people, and echoing what Sunshine said, which is we got the right people at the right place at the right time. We're not overstaffed. We're not understaffed, because that's critical. Margins, these organizations live or die on effective margin management as they grow as a business.
Without a doubt. And the ability to, skate to where the puck's going to be as opposed to where it has been, really, that predictive nature and modeling, is certainly something that technology can help solve for. I would just on this point stress the importance of assigning the right resources to the right project. Every customer needs an A team. And you want to find the SIs and interview SIs knowing that, who you meet during the sales process is going to be who's assigned to your project once you actually, sign on the dotted line. And there are some SIs who are masterful at, assembling the right team, keeping that team intact, and making sure that that team is aligned with the industry and the needs of customers. HRMS, great example of that. And you can see all kinds of customer proof points of that based on their reviews. But that alignment and, the ability to, match the right projects with the right resources is both, science and art. And, definitely for the best SIs out there are able to do that on a very predictable path.